Whoa! Hello! We're here, honestly. Hey, there we are. You thought we were a pint of Guinness with a load of Salah in it, or even William and his big hair. But you would be wrong. We are, in fact, the Chelsea Football Fancast, and I am Stamford Chidge, admittedly with big hair, although not as big as William's, and probably in a very different style. I should move on, really. OK, it's time for us to talk about the Chelsea-Bolton match, the Capital One Cup match. It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it, that? Capital One Cup match.
I don't find it so.
I had a really weird time. You don't find it so? That's because you're a professional
Capital
artiste.
One Cup. I can say it without any problem. Capital One Cup. I'll say it again. Capital One Cup. Capital One Cup. I don't have a problem.
Can you do like a, what they call those things, a tongue twister? Yeah. Can you?
No,
I tell you what. Your task the rest of the evening, Jonathan, is to come up with a Capital One Cup tongue twister.
Okay.
Okay, and I'd like to hear it by the end of the show, please.
No problem.
Okay. Now, before we actually start
Chidge
talking,
has won the Capital One Cup. Chidge has won the Capital One Cup.
there we go. I like that. Anyway, look, we ought to talk about the ratings for this game. Although they were a bit odd because I kind of made them all up, really. But then again, I make them all up every week, so what's the problem?
Any sixes, Chidge?
There are this. These ratings are purely to keep Jonathan Kidd happy, Ross. Shall we have a look at them? There we go. Right.
Ah, some sixes. Good.
Very, very, very different side, obviously, to the one that Jonathan was moaning about for the Villa match. But we've got Cech. Cech got 6. Azpilicueta got 6. Cahill got 6. The wonderful Zouma got 7. Luis got 6. Mikel got 6. Aki got 7. Oscar got 8. Schurrle got 8. Salah got 7. Remy got 6. And the substitutes, Hazard, Drogba and Matic, all got 6. Discuss. Seb's up in arms already. He's up in arms already.
I thought Remy was a 7. I thought their goalkeeper, I don't think that goalkeeper will ever have a better night. He had a worldie that night.
Okay.
It was.
So Remy deserves an extra point. How many goals did he score?
None.
Yeah.
But
he did score 1. It was offside.
Yeah, it was offside. And the goalkeeper made that save second half.
He got taken off quite early, though, I thought.
Yeah, but I thought he had a pretty good game.
I thought he had a good game.
And we're saying he made 2 assists, didn't he?
Did he?
Well,
right.
The knockdown for Zouma and the pass to Oscar, who scored. So
for the first time ever on Chelsea Fancast history, because Seb is much cleverer than me, basically, I'm going to revoke Remy 6 and award him 7.
You've never done that before.
I've never done that before.
And the number of times we put forward good cases, me and Dazza, and you don't accept it.
But normally I'm not as drunk.
What have you done?
Normally I'm not as drunk at the game as I was on Wednesday night.
Okay.
More of that later.
How did Schurrle get an 8 then?
Oh, I thought, you see, this is the thing. I thought Schurrle had a great game.
I thought he was a
greedy
so-and-so.
He ran around like a loony. He had 11 shots. Admittedly, none of them went in. But I just loved it. I just loved it.
He had shots from angles you just thought, oh, come on, pass.
Well, hit the bar, didn't he?
Yeah, but on those occasions, what about some of the other shots he had?
Right, somebody who knows about football, who happens to be sitting in the gallery, has just reminded me that he he hit the woodwork twice, and one was an absolutely worldy save. So on another night, he'd have had a hat-trick.
Out of the 24 shots he had?
11 shots.
Okay, 11.
Don't exaggerate.
It felt like 24.
I know you like to embellish and exaggerate because you're lovey, but when it comes to
I
football...
can't help it, darling, it's in my genes.
No, I thought Schurrle had a good game. And talking of... Well, I mean, actually, we talked a lot about Oscar in the other game, but I thought he ran the game.
He got told off, Schurrle.
Did he?
Yeah.
By whom?
By the rest of the team.
Did he? When?
In the dressing room, immediately afterwards.
How do you know that?
Because the woman I sit next to, her husband's dog, runs around with JT's dog.
Are they any good at football? Are they terriers?
I just made that up.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah.
I think we'll move on.
Yeah.
Oscar ran the game. I thought he was great. Again, it was kind of his first kind of, he's looking like the Oscar we know and love. But what I think we should really talk about is Zouma and Aki getting a start. I thought Zouma was fantastic. Yeah. I thought Aki was fantastic. I really enjoyed seeing Zouma play.
Aki is very good at. He's a very strong tackler.
Yeah.
We don't appear to have a terrifically strong tackler in the
proper
team
tackler, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he's just so, for somebody so young, he's just so composed in his position, which is a position of great responsibility, and on the ball. I'm really pleased to see them play. Of course, we've got to mention Cech. It was lovely to see Cech. Now, we'll talk a little bit more about them all in a minute. But
was he at fault for the goal, though?
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. The first thing I want to really talk about is the fact that I felt in that game, it being that we were playing a bunch of cloggers, we were always in control of that game. And yet when I got home, no. When I woke up sober the next morning, I'm reading the papers and stuff, and everybody's saying how lucky we got away with one. We were really lucky.
Not the Guardian.
Well, I didn't read the Groony ad, but all the media outlets.
You did, yes, for the
you based
game.
your whole
the
segment
whole of the
about
But I
segment.
didn't read it on Thursday.
Okay. I know, but you dismissed it then, didn't you?
I
You
know,
didn't read
I
the
just couldn't
Guardian.
find the link.
You went, Guardian, just like that. Then.
But more to the point, I was astonished by all the media platforms that I was tuning into the next day were saying that we were lucky to win, we got away with it, and what game? I know I was drunk, but you surely were at a different game than me if you thought that, because I thought we were in control throughout that entire match.
Well, so did Jose. He thought we were in control.
Yeah, well there we go. Me and Jose.
Of course.
Yeah, quite.
Jose does know when we're in control as well, because he knows how to defend. If he felt he's in control, he is in control. He knows what he's doing.
So you didn't think it was close either then? None of us thought it was close.
I mean, it got to the last 2-3 minutes and you thought, oh, they're just going to throw.
Well, they did. I thought they actually
proverbial
played.
kitchen
I'll tell you what
sink at
happened when was it Spurling? What's his name?
Spearing, Jay Spearing.
Spearing, JJ Spearing, because he used to play for Liverpool.
Something out the Goonies.
It actually, the whole thing, they improved.
Did they?
He's their
Yeah.
club captain.
Yeah,
Imagine that.
I don't know what he was being why he was on so late as a sub. Perhaps he was injured.
I'm so
but they
glad.
actually did improve.
Did they?
And the last few minutes, there was the possibility they might score, but it was never in doubt.
It was never in doubt.
No.
Even if it had gone to extra time, we would have beat him anyway.
Yeah,
so it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
really
Yeah.
official.
I was a
I was
bit.
quite looking forward to
So
that,
was I,
actually.
because
So
I
was
could
I,
have had
yeah.
even more red wine to drink.
Yeah. Excuse me, what were you doing in the
And
direct
later,
area?
well, I'll get on to that.
Oh, yeah, I say. All
That
right.
later. Benches, never in doubt, was it?
Never in doubt, no.
No,
Easy.
just the media being the media, because it was a 2-1 scoreline, it was a cheap shot.
Yeah, I think you're right, Andy. But I felt, I mean, I was anaesthetised quite severely, but I felt ever so comfortable watching that match. And I actually really enjoyed it, to be honest. I mean, I know Jonathan's mugging Schurrle off, but I thought it was a really entertaining game. Lots of action. It was great. I mean, I know the shots were flying over, but it was action. There was stuff happening. It was great fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed our dominance of the match.
And I thought, as you, which one of you said, I can't remember, but but the goalkeeper was magnificent.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of
He was magnificent.
He
Have
did
a
have a
better
world.
game.
He did. Basically, I mean, Jose, I think, and this is, I think, interesting in terms of how our, progression, hopefully, throughout this tournament will evolve. But I was fascinated by his team selection, and I thought he got the balance of kids, squad players, and first team players absolutely right. Actually, I thought he did. I thought it was really interesting to see who he picked, and I was really pleased to see that.
I think after the show last week, we went to the pub and we actually got the team sheet right.
No way,
yeah, we
really?
did. I'm sure if you speak to Andy now, he'll tell you that we got the.
Can you verify this, Andy, on the benches?
What's that?
you picked the team. You picked the
we got
team
the
last
team.
week.
Did I?
Team right.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah, we got the team right. So Andy's our new manager.
Andy manager.
I thought,
Andy
I
Manager,
hoped,
yeah.
and I thought that Baker would play.
Well, I think he would
was
have
on the
played.
bench.
He would have
done if he'd
played
scored
if
three.
Yeah, it was a question of.
I'm with
Yeah.
you there, Jonathan. I was hoping he'd get a run
Yeah.
out.
I really
that
was.
kid is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's quite.
Play Shrewsbury.
I was in the directors' lounge with a lot of people who didn't really know their football, and I was extolling the virtues of Lewis Baker, saying this kid's potentially one of the best players ever. Blah 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 blah. Blah. Until they were bored and went back inside. But anyway, we're always in control. Loved his selection. Loved the fact that Zouma got a debut. Loved the fact that Zouma scored on his debut. Loved the fact that he was a big lump,
He's a lump,
isn't he?
but he's a great header of the ball as well,
Yeah.
as we saw. Well, he didn't score with his head, but
He didn't. He just booted. It was a very Cahill-esque goal, I thought, actually. That's the kind of thing that Cahill does quite a lot.
He's only 19.
Only 19. One thing I want to talk about, he's one of the youngest scorers we've had, actually, on a debut, interestingly, without
stats later.
peeing on Cheddar's strawberry
Did
patch.
Chico Hamilton score on his debut at 16?
he was our youngest ever goal
He
scorer.
was, yes.
Knowledge.
His nickname
I was
Chico.
there.
Knowledge.
What year was that?
Yeah, what year was that?
60s.
1970, I think.
I thought it was about 67.
No, it wasn't. It was 67. You're absolutely right. It was. You're
Um,
absolutely right. Sorry.
What about
I
Salah?
wasn't there then. I wasn't there.
Moving on. What about Salah? Mo Salah.
Runs around a little bit like that. There are shades of Sean Wright Phillips for me. Kicks the ball and runs after it and ahead of him. But no, he's got more skill than Sean Wright Phillips. He just worries me.
That table's got more skill than Sean Wright
Indeed,
Phillips.
indeed.
My problem with Salah is that he cost £15 million, and we had the same sort of player and English.
With De Bruyne.
With Victor Moses. We could have kept Victor Moses.
He's not English.
And Victor
Well,
Moses.
he's been great. He would have been a homegrown player.
Victor Moses has got a much better chant as well.
Yeah,
Victor Moses.
But I don't know. Well, obviously, I'm not going to coat off Salah, but I'm not sure he's ever going to be good enough to be a first team player. He'll be a good squad player in these sort of games, but
I wonder that too. I mean, there was an amazing stat, Seb, after the game, that's saying that no player this season has had more dribbles and attacks on a goal or something like that. I can't remember what it was exactly.
What, than him?
Than him. I have another view about Salah. I think there's a major, small fish in a very big pond syndrome going on with him. And he plays like a player to me who is devoid of any sort of confidence. And this, I think, is exemplified totally by the fact that he always seems to pass in the final analysis when he should shoot. And I kind of like, I wrote my notes, when I wrote my notes, the game was, is this in his contract that he's not allowed to shoot? Because, I mean, every time he's in a perfect position to crack one off, if you excuse the expression, he passes. Pop one off then. I prefer.
Oh, that's okay then.
Popping a shot off, dear. Popping a shot off. But you know what I mean? I mean, and that for me is somebody who's not confident.
If he wanted to be a big fish in a salt pond, should have just gone to Liverpool, surely. No?
Yeah. Are we being a bit unfair on him though, Darren? Does he need more games?
But I don't know, I think Victor Moses actually would rather play a lot more. I think Moses probably wanted to go to get first team football. I think Salah's quite happy. I don't think Salah ever came expecting to be first choice. But like Daniel Sturridge used to always shoot because he always felt he had a point to prove, and
he was a greedy SOB.
If people only play sometimes, it happens to them. And I don't know, like I don't think Jose did what he should have done with Kesman really all those years ago, and I don't always think Jose's good with fringe players.
No, Kesman should have been sent back to Richard Curtis to go and perform in Blackadder again. That's what should have happened to Kesman.
Kesman should have been brought on as soon as we're ever 2 or 3 goals up. But
do you know what though? I mean, Kesman's funny, isn't he? Because he's very indicative of a lot of strikers that we've had in the past. But I think we all knew,
early on,
that Kesman was never going to make the grade because the man had absolutely no luck whatsoever. I mean, Kesman could miss a goal when, that is the net, that is the ball, and there is nobody there, and he would still contrive to hit it over the bar. And you just thought, Kesman's lovely, but he's never going to do it.
That isn't to do with luck if he's hitting over the bar from there.
He hit the bar from there as well, actually, which is even harder.
So did Kalou once.
Kalou was great. Oh,
FA Cup
I was right
final.
behind that. I nearly punched whoever I was next in absolute anger and unbelief. Okay, now talking of things that, very quickly, I thought Oscar had a decent game. Schurrle, you're worried about him missing all these shots, aren't you?
I am. I'm worried about him generally. I'm worried about him as a player. He turns off.
I think
he's. Say, Seb.
I think.
Contradict me.
I think Schurrle is.
Bring it on.
I think Schurrle is a big game player.
He's a big what player?
Big game player.
Oh, big game player.
Yeah, I thought he said it as well, actually.
Big game player. It's just the way you say it. So.
but you've seen last year against City, he came on. Or he played and scored. This year, he's come on and scored. He scores in big games.
Mate, I look.
PSG.
I'm winding Jonathan up, not for the first time. I'm a huge Schurrle fan. I love him.
He's wasteful though.
Yeah, but
like the Everton game last season away when we lost middle of September, he was just squandering chances left, right, and centre. He scored against Stoke, and then he had a while where he didn't do anything, and then he scored against Fulham. But I don't think you can rely on him to score goals. And when we do need someone else to support someone like Costa, it wouldn't be Schurrle, in my opinion. I don't think he's.
This is going to run and run and run, but right now it's a 2-2 draw. No, because I want to move on to this because I've got a question for you, Jonathan. Have we got this picture up, Ross? Can we have a look at this? You know the one I mean? Blue smoke, number 17. That is a very big photograph of the East Stand.
Yes.
And I noticed during the game that there was a pool of blue smoke in the upper echelons of the East Stand. And then my first thought here was one of two things have happened here. Either Jonathan Kidd has lit off a blue flare, highly unlikely, or his butler has burnt his toast. Which one is it, Jonathan?
I've got blue toast, of course, like the blue
blue
cake.
toast with a blue Chelsea toaster. What was going on? Was there seriously blue smoke there?
There was a flare in the
backyard. We didn't see it, I'm afraid.
But that is in the East Stand.
If you notice, looking at this picture, it's in the upper tier. It's in
the it is. Upper. But that's because smoke rises.
I know, but I'm lower than that. I'm afraid.
Yes, I know you are.
Smoke rose
you're in the middle tier.
I'm in the middle tier, so it's not me. It's not to do with.
No. I just wondered if you knew about it.
No, I knew nothing about it at all.
But
This is the first you've
a
heard of
ball
it.
of blue
I've heard.
smoke.
But someone did let one off.
They let one
no
off. and the flare.
They
Put on
did.
tush. All right, enough of the photo. We get the message.
Very good.
I thought, the other thing, very, very quickly, I thought it was a decent turnout. 40,998, and there were lots of doom and gloom. In fact, Dan Levine, our very own Dan Levine, was saying that there wouldn't be much of a turnout, but that didn't materialise. I thought it was a good turnout.
I commented on it. I thought it was great.
Anyway, if you think you're posh, well, we know you're posh, but if you think you're posh sitting in the East Middle, I outdid you finally, Jonathan. I was in the Director's Lounge, as I've been saying, ad infinitum all show. Now, the reason for that is because my lovely, lovely wife happens to work for Capital One, and she organised through them some corporate hospitality, and I was invited along because obviously I'm a Chelsea supporter and her husband. And I expected to be in one of the hospitality boxes in the kind of the back of the lower bit of the west stand, but no way, we were in the Director's Lounge. It was insane. And when you go into the Director's Lounge, just check this out. Check this photo out. This is their bar, and this was just astonishing. Look at all of that. That's where all the trophies are, man. Absolutely astonishing. You've got everything there. You've got the League Cup, the FA Cup, the Premiership. You've got the European Cup. You've got the UEFA Cup or the Europa Cup. It is just absolutely Cup Winners' Cup.
When I saw you with a tie on before the match, I thought you looked like a bit of a prat.
Yeah, thank you, Darren.
But
Why? You wear a tie.
Not to football. I've never worn.
But
a
you've
tie
never
to
been in the
football.
Director's Lounge, have you?
Which was what I was going to say. But now knowing that you were there and not where I thought you were going to be, yeah, actually, it was worth wearing.
Well, it gets better because at half time, I mean, apart from the fact you get champagne when you arrive, but they'd also sorted out our dining, and literally, it was us on a table and a few of the directors on another table. I won't name names to protect the innocent. But at half time, I mean, you have like amazing meal, we had beautiful red wine, lots of champagne, but the pièce de résistance at half time, and I did tweet this out, is this. Have a look at this. Blue cake. Only at Chelsea, blue cake.
Who's that?
That's me, looking very happy.
No, it's not you.
It is me, yeah. I scrub up quite well, don't I?
You
Anyway, that is blue cake. Only at Chelsea, blue cake. I was just loving this blue cake.
Did you have a blue tongue after?
They didn't have any Eden mess, but the wine was called Little Eden, funnily enough.
Are you able to get the trophies out and
Well,
follow them?
you might see this later. There will be evidence of this later. Now, my favourite thing about what else would be proper Chelsea in the Director's Lounge to make it complete?
Richard Attenborough's ashes in a
No, they didn't have the urn there. They haven't put them in yet.
Celery.
What?
I was going to say celery
Yeah?
as well, but I wouldn't have thought they'd have it there.
Okay, Seb, what do you reckon?
I know what it is. But I
You
won't
don't.
say
You know what it is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Okay.
say.
Shall we have a look at what the final touch was?
Can't you go on something else for a minute? Let us think about it.
No, there you go, Darren. Celery, celery. I don't think we should sing the rest on there. But you get the drift. That is the largest pile of celery I've ever seen. How appropriate that there is a pile of celery in the Director's Lounge.
And no
of
one
Chelsea.
snapped up and threw it anyone.
No, me and Sarah are
Are
eating
they
all our
aware
cheese.
of its significance, though?
I don't know. But there's another shot that I can't show
I
on.
don't think so.
There's another shot that I can't show on the
pretty sure they are.
programme. Jonathan, there's another shot that I won't show on the programme tonight, but I have got a
It's
shot of
sticking out
Sarah
of your-
holding a stick of celery in the Director's
Was Sarah
Lounge.
the match as well?
Yeah, it was. I was her guest.
Yeah, I thought you just went without her. I thought she gave you the
No.
tickets.
No, I was her guest, and she had a lot of other Capital One people there, and I was the guest really to talk about the football. So there we go. So I just thought, how much fun was that? I mean, normally we mock it and we have a laugh, but I've got to say, it was really quite something, and the view is just astonishing.
Have you got a picture? I bet you've done a picture of you. You've got on you and a blue cake, the trophies,
later,
but not the view.
later.
Again, we've got to wait.
It is, in fact, slightly...
You're
teasing it,
stretching
teasing
out
it.
this me thing
Yes,
about
I
it.
am.
The view is great, but it's slightly further away than the
East middle, yeah.
because of the
Slant.
the slant of the stand. Because
Gradients.
nowadays you couldn't. In fact, it'd be interesting when we get onto this. It's a nice segue into the redevelopment of the ground.
Well, yes.
Because what will they do to the East Stand? Because the East Stand, if
Knock
they
it down.
if they no, they can't do that because they wouldn't be able to put as many people in it as there are now.
If they
Later.
can't
We've got to
leave it
go. We've got to
over
go to a break.
West Bolton Railway line, they could
But
do it,
we
actually.
will, and almost through the football at you then, Darren, be warned. We're going to go for a break. We'll be back in a very short while to talk about the fannies for the Bolton game. We'll see you in a sec.